We are live on air at KUTV Kenya. Rise Today, Biashara Tuesday. So if you're tagging me on social media, use any of those that I've mentioned. Hashtag Rise Today, hashtag Biashara Tuesday, hashtag KUTV Kenya. This is your best radio on TV experience. That's what I always say. And this being World International Radio Day, I think it's very apt that we are having this show on this specific day. It also reminds me because I started back in KU Radio before we got to KUTV Rise Today. So to the foundation that made us here on this show, I'm very grateful to celebrate a day of radio where our voices have been able to communicate our stories, to tell the stories of our people, and to also help us on a very personal level. Why not for radio? I probably would not have been on this show that we are on. So for all those who are celebrating, happy World International Radio Day. Na wale radio presenters ambao wanawatch show, tuma shoutouts tutaku mention hapa hivi. Radio presenters ambao tulifanya nao shughuli kama Ojwang Mariam, Laban Shaban, najua saizi wamesahau, but remember where we came from and give me that shout out. I'll be providing it on the show. And on radio is where most of football conversations actually happen. The biggest shows on sports are on radio. Even if you tune into KU Radio, where a man who always appears on the spot, Peter Pinches Pia, has been doing his thing from way back then. So we are grateful to be celebrating this day. Now, AFCON 2023 just recently concluded, where Ivory Coast were crowned the champions of that tournament. They had a rocky start to the tournament. They changed their head coach midway through the tournament, who led them all the way to the finals. Nigeria were going against Ivory Coast at the finals after beating South Africa in that generator derby that was happening, or is it lights out derby that was happening in the semi-finals before they proceeded to the finals. South Africa is now third, I think, after beating DRC in the second runners-up qualifiers. Yeah, so we are going to have that conversation with the former captain of the Kenyatta University Hard Nuts. That is the men's football team of Kenyatta University, and joined alongside Kevin Benson, lawyer, football and sports commentator as well, here on the show with us. We are going to be having a very intense and detailed discussion. But first, let me introduce the gentlemen, or allow themselves to do justice to the introduction. Alafu tutaangalia the details of what has happened, the predictions, the reactions, and what you guys have to say as you're watching from home. So, karibu to the show, gentlemen. I'll start with the new face on the show. Ian, karibu to the show. Please introduce yourself on the camera there. Alafu tutaendelea.
Okay, my name is Ian Owiti. I'm a student at Kenyatta University. I was the captain at the soccer team, and it's been a nice journey. And then I enjoyed my stay here, and as a captain, it was nice. And the AFCON also, it was nice to watch. You know, African football, it's growing, and it was kind of awesome.
All right.
Yeah.
And kwa sababu you represented Kenya in international sports, usha change imekuwa soccer. Umeita soccer, my friend.
Yeah, that's how mostly refer to it.
Yeah. Not football.
I think we are more US than British.
Okay. Yeah. Kelvin Benson, welcome to the show once more. Unakubaliana mambo ni soccer ama ni football?
Football is football. We have a lot to talk about. We have talking points about AFCON. Of course, not many expected Ivory Coast to lift this trophy. You included, me included. But mpira udunda.
Na tulisema hivyo tukianza the discussions back then. Mpira udunda na ulisha dunda. But before we get into the details of AFCON, I have to mention he's reserved, trying to act very humble, Ian Owiti, but he's part of the men's team at Kenyatta University who represented Africa in the International University Sports Federation Football World Cup that was held in China from the 21st to the 31st of October 2023. So Hard Nuts walikuwa pale hivyo. We met up with him actually before they left, and then now I've seen him way after that competition happened. Ian, let us know, how was the experience representing us over in China? Games ilikuwaje, and how was the football culture on that side of the world?
Okay, China ilikuwa kuzuri. Okay, it was a nice experience as a team, as a player, as an individual, unaona. So games ilikuwa tamu, tulienjoy things zingine, but I think to some extent like the European teams wanatushindia tu kidogo, like they're more developed in terms of soccer, how they play, how they approach games. It's kind of different to us, but it was a learning experience, and as a team I guess tukipata hiyo opportunity, I guess we can do much better, because tulijaribu, we were number 6 out of 12.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, we were in the knockout stages. At quarters we were knocked out by Uruguay. Yeah, we lost 1-0. But kwa hizo ranking we met Argentina, team yako
team ya Benson.
Tuliwapiga.
Mliwapiga?
Yeah, okay. Tuliwapiga 3-0. Then in the last ranking tulicheza na Spain. We lost 3-1 to them. So overall we were number 6 as a team. And we were proud to represent Africa.
Yeah. Very nice. Congratulations, man. That's quite a feat to achieve. And of course, because we're going to have a conversation on what Kenya can do to prepare themselves for AFCON, I think utakuwa also the right guy kutuambia uliona nini, what people are doing, and maybe something that you can borrow.
Okay.
Right. Let's get into now AFCON 2023. Surprises and whatnot. Very amazing individual and team performance from all the nations that were represented there. Kevin Benson, what was your most surprising moment from the start of the tournament to the end? What are the key surprising moments for you?
I think I'll start with the elephants. Ivory Coast. We ruled them out. You remember?
Yeah, we did.
Losing 4-0 to Equatorial Guinea. Then it was a scrappy performance. But somehow as a host nation, they tried and they had the home advantage. At least the fans were behind them. I'm looking at a player like Sebastian Haller. I'm looking at the final where people could have scored Puskas goals. You remember the overhead kicks?
Yeah.
If those could have gone in, then those were goals then that you expect to be written in the books of history. But again, if you look at a team like Ivory Coast, I think they tried. They did their best. After my team Senegal were knocked out, I supported Ivory Coast. I had to.
You had to. Sign with the winning team.
Because not in that perspective. I'm looking at a team that has come from a very poor group stages, very poor, scrappy performance.
For sure.
4-0 Equatorial Guinea.
They almost knocked out.
They were done and dusted. Right? People call them zombies, by the way. But they tried. Yeah, they call them zombies. But they tried.
Okay.
They were the Walking Dead, but they came out alive.
What do you think made that turnaround for them? We've mentioned, of course, they had the home advantage. They had the home crowd, of course. They are used to this field. It's probably their training pitch as well. And then we have a situation where, of course, we had written them off, as you've said there. And then halfway through the tournament, they had to go on with a different coach.
Yeah.
What do you think was the turnaround for them?
I think at some point, they were almost edge out of the competition. So when they came back, I think they got the momentum. Sacking a coach, then getting a new coach and winning the tournament, then that's something for the fans.
For sure. Ian, what do you think ilifanya the journey ya Ivory Coast to be a great comeback in this AFCON 2023?
Okay, Ivory Coast kwanza, they got names, they got quality. For me, okay, people wanasema they were written off, but the quality in that team, they got certain quality that it's beyond matching. What was your
before you go on, what was your initial team in your make a bet?
Yangu ilikuwa Senegal, but vile walitolewa nilienda to South Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now walishatolewa.
So wao pia akifika semi so can disappoint, but you need football.
Okay.
Yeah.
So for Ivory Coast, you are talking about the turnaround.
Yeah, for Ivory Coast is the quality, I believe. Because if you look at their players, most of them are in Europe. Then the kind of game they playing, the quality, first of all, I was in love with their midfield, Seko Fofana, KC, Yeah, you know.
Mm.
Then now, I think the belief just came when they got a chance to get the second chance.
Mm-hmm.
They just believed in themselves and
Okay.
they were able to express themselves. If you look at their front line there, Adingra, that guy is an awesome player.
For sure.
If you watch him, you love him.
Mm.
So I think they just believed in themselves. Then the home advantage again.
Mhm.
You know, if you have your fans there, you have to prove to them.
Mm.
Me personally, I'm a witness because when we host first year,
Mm-hmm.
we had to give them back the fans. You know, so that alone, the home advantage too,
Mm.
was something they used.
All right. Benson, do you think that Ivory Coast is going to maintain this momentum in setting pace for African football? And now that they will definitely be going to the World Cup, to expect to endelea na the kind of performance they've put up?
I'm looking at individual players, the likes of Gradel, of course. We have Gradel. We have Adingra there. Adingra is a young player, a rising talent. We have Casey, very experienced midfielder. Again, I'm looking at the World Cup. Then I want the Elephants, that coach, to look for those young players. Because if you are to check and look, maybe we say in the next 5 years, people like Frank Casey, maybe they will be out of the team. Max Gradel, of course. We expect people like Adingra at least to be there.
To have gone, yeah.
Yeah. But if they are going, of course, they will go to the World Cup. As an African team, of course, representing Africa, we must be behind their backs.
Yeah.
I
So
will
now they
remind
have
you of
more
South
fans.
Africa. Yeah, of course, we must support them. I think they have the experience, they have the quality they need. And with this new coach coming in, I want to look at his tactics. I want to see how he will manage the players. I want to see how they will play the international friendlies. Then we'll be able to know the trajectory of how they will perform.
All right. I'm guessing for they're calling it's called MRC, if I'm pronouncing that correct, right? For MRC coming into the tournament, mid-tournament actually, and that's a high-pressure environment. I'm going to assume this is likened to the pressure in World Cup. Hopefully, then he can still maintain the team unity as he has displayed in the pressure that was there in AFCON. It was quite an intense tournament actually towards the end, one unlike any other that we've seen before. Hopefully this translates also to World Cup. Ian, what a maintained momentum, what do you think will be for them in the coming few tournaments in Africa and even World Cup?
Okay, I think it depends on the coaches and the management. Wakiamua kuretain some of their players, alafu wakiongeza the quality, because I know they have some young quality and young talent growing. So I guess by the time World Cup itakuwa inafika, the team will be much better than now. That is if they'll maintain this team, alafu waongeze tu some quality, you know, because kwa team hawezi kosa, lazima additional player ama additional, there must be something missing which you can add each and every time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk the other side, who we thought were going to win by their first goal. Kwanza vile walieka tu hivi, there was noise from Enugu State all the way to Roysambu. Nigeria. The Nigeria's near miss. They had a very strong showing and that fell short just in that final. What do you think contributed to the defeat, gentlemen? Kevin, what do you think made Nigeria not win that final?
I'm looking at a team like Nigeria. In the final, they started a very strong squad. Players like Chukwueze, Ole Aina, Lukman, Osimhen, of course, from Napoli. Of course, he tried. Yeah. And when they got their first goal, I think people expected them to win. And I think also the pressure was now on Ivory Coast. But again, if you look at a team like Nigeria, the pressure, they could not sustain that pressure. When they conceded the equalizer, if you look at how they conceded that equalizer, it's as if they lost the momentum. There was pressure that came into the team, but they played well, of course. But again, Nigeria, everybody, when they scored that first goal, everybody expected them to win. All bookies were giving Ivory Coast, I think, odds of 3.9 to win. Nigeria 2 point something. I had predicted a 1-1 draw, and then Ivory Coast to win.
In the penalties.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when they scored that second goal, it's as if they just won the match.
Yeah.
And I love that. But Nigeria has a very strong squad. I don't know what's wrong with them. If they had converted their chances, then they could have won that final.
Okay.
Very easily.
All right.
Conversion rate was very low.
You've mentioned Osimhen. Despite the very early he showcased his talent, cement his position there, of course, throughout the tournament. Do you see him leading Nigeria to glory? Ian, do you think Osimhen is going to play a key role even in the coming few matches or in the coming few campaigns by Nigeria? And what do you think made them lose in that final? They had a very good squad, as is mentioned there, from Lukman to Osimhen to all the other stars that they have in the team. What happened?
Okay, for Nigeria, I can't really tell, but I think it's the experience from the Côte d'Ivoire team that took over. Like, they were composed even after conceding the goal. They were very, very composed. They continued playing just normally, like, pressure zero. Tunasemanga pressure zero. So,
for sure.
So walitulia tu, Côte d'Ivoire walizidi tu kutulia. And they just saw their chances coming. Then when they got their chance, they took it. But for Osimhen, he's a very good striker, and I know he'll go far. So for Nigeria, they still have a very, very good team. Then the striker there, I think he'll continue converting his chances, and that alone will just help Nigeria even in the coming tournaments.
Yeah. They're definitely going for the World Cup, right? Or do they need a qualifier for that?
So
all right, we'll be checking out on that. South Africa, guys, semi-finals, South Africa, Nigeria. How was that like for you? And Bafana, not many people thought South Africa would get that far, given their shaky performance even in previous AFCON tournaments. Nini ilikuwa mpya this time?
I think I'm looking at a team like South Africa. And then many people are complaining that South Africa all players are from Mamelodi Sundowns. Yeah. You know that they have that, South Africa have that talent in football. And if you look, even if you are to watch the games that South Africa play, Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi, all those teams, they have the quality. And I think they played very well. Looking at their strikers, even after they lost these penalties and everything, South Africa deserved to win that place. They really tried. No one even thought they could have reached the semi-final level. I think South Africa, they still have that squad if they maintain it. Again, we have to wait and see whether they will be able, maybe,
to maintain that momentum. It was 2-0. Alafu kidogo naangalia screen, it's 1-1. How was your reaction like there, Ian? And what do you think of the South African team getting that far?
Okay, for the South African team, it reminded me back of the 2010 Spain. If you remember, I think 3/4 of the team was from Barcelona, then 3, I don't know, around 4 from Real Madrid. So like their players used to each other, they know the strength of this, the weakness of this person, they know ikifanya hivi huyu anafaa kuwa hapa, huyu anafaa kuwa. So that I think what made South Africa perform better, because all the players mostly, I think around 8 or 9 from Mamelodi. So they are used to each other, they know what to do at what time, at any given time, which place of the field, you know. So it was a team that is like it's been there, so they had just to perform.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe that's something that we should borrow. Do you think so? We have like 10 Gor Mahia players in Harambee Stars, alafu tuwatume AFCON. Will that help us?
Depends on the quality.
Shabana.
Ama Shabana. Hiyo tutatolewa.
Depends on the quality. If they got quality, tunaweza jaribu. Unaona?
Okay.
Sasa kama hii team ya Gor, labda wakiperform hapo Continental, you can give them a chance, but we can't rate them with the
domestic.
KPL, internal matches. Rivalry between Salah and Mane. Hiyo ilizimwa moto mapema. What is going on in those two giants? Actually, when I was starting the conversation on AFCON, initially my bets were on Egypt, and then kwanza ndo wanatolewa mapema zaidi, and then I had Senegal, of course, thinking they have stars who have experience from the EPL, from Champions League. I mean, they've played against the best of the best in the world. I was hoping they would bring this leadership What went wrong with Sadio Mane's team and with Salah's team? And from this disappointing campaign they've had, do we see them trying to prove themselves in 2025? Maybe Benson can take up on that.
I think if you are looking at a team like Senegal, of course they have stars, of course. Of course they have stars.
Stars should get you a trophy, no?
Yeah, I know. But you cannot start every star in a team. That will make you crumble because of the pressure, of course. But a team like Senegal, they were the favorites to win this. Most after every Arab country was knocked out, teams like Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, Tunisia. Those were the favorites. They were the favorites. But after they were knocked out, then many people went to Senegal. And of course, Nigeria. But then I'm looking at a team like Senegal. I don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong. Because I remember the last final where Egypt beat on penalties. Well, Tandika Nani 4-2. Last AFCON.
Previous.
Previous.
Okay.
Then a team like Senegal, of course they have the stars. But again, if you are looking at how they are playing, there was some pressure. Tactically, I never saw tactics playing them. I never saw composure in Senegal. I never saw conversion rate. Because even if you are to look at the chances that they missed and the chances that they created, Mane alimaliza game na bao ngapi? The tournament, was it to penalty?
Yeah, I think one.
One goal?
One.
Okay.
So going forward then, I think a lot need to be done. But we are not ruling out Senegal yet in the next AFCON. They have the stars, of course. But I'm bidding for teams like Ghana, with the likes of Kudus, coming in. Then those are the teams that I'm expecting to go and
make a comeback.
Yeah.
Maybe. Any individual players as a serious football player at Kenyatta University, kuna individual players you are looking at during this tournament, and maybe some of the notable things that you can say about them?
Okay, personally, I was looking at someone like Sa. This guy is a very, very talented midfielder. I play midfield, so I like interacting with midfielders and watching them play. So it was a standout though, but hard luck. They were knocked out, but his performance was well.
Okay.
Yeah, I like his work rate, his vision. He's got everything. Then, as you can see it, he's playing in Tottenham. So if you watch Tottenham play, you'll see him there. Then another one there, Mokena, South African midfielder. A very, very, very good guy. If you watch them, I think you'll fall in love with him. Yeah.
Hakimi, no one's talking about the man from World Cup.
I think Hakimi, after he missed that penalty, people were mad. They had the chance to have that comeback. Of course, Hakimi has been at PSG. He has been at these big teams. Many people expected him to carry the team. But again, that's football.
Yeah.
And I think many people in this AFCON, they were against the Arab teams to win this AFCON.
They were saying there's like a different AFCON inside of AFCON. Yeah. Arab countries versus the rest.
Yes. And that's how, I don't know what happened really. But teams like Algeria, we expected them to carry the day.
Yeah.
That's football for you.
What happened to Algeria, by the way? Because we know that the northern side of the continent has the best of the teams, including Algeria. But in this tournament, wamekuwa dim sana. What went wrong there, Ian?
Okay, nikidhani is like easy countries zingine from East Africa and South Africa. I think they've developed and like the coaches, they're tactically gifted. So, you know, they know what to do against such teams, you know. So, like, I guess the West African teams or the Arabic teams, they just came like they know that they are peak, they are always at their best, they'll perform, you know. I think overconfidence, you can say.
Yeah.
So that I think challenged them, and they got a more composed team, more organized teams, so it was difficult for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
we're hoping that overconfidence won't be there when Ivory Coast wanaelekea World Cup, because we'll need them to proceed a bit further. Now, for any other individual stars, maybe Kevin Benson, that you'd like to mention?
I think Kudus stands out for me.
Okay.
Mohamed Kudus. Even if they were knocked out, Kudus is a very talented player, of course.
Okay.
Looking at him playing at West Ham, then the kind of performance he put at this AFCON, even being gifted man of the match even after they lost that game, that shows that a player that has quality.
Yeah.
I felt very bad when they were knocked out. They
you
tried
wanted to see a bit more of his performance.
But maybe next time
he gets a chance to proceed further. The refereeing decisions as well have been a conversation this AFCON. Wanasema hatujakuwa na shida na VR, hatujakuwa na shida na maref. Nakumbuka ile ingine ilikuwa inafika 89 minutes mtu ana call off game, anasema game ishaisha. Now we have, and we also had a Kenyan referee also at the tournament. Is a lecturer at KUTV actually. Mr. Peter, I'm going to get the second name, I actually forgot it, but yeah, so do you think we are also mature in terms of decision making? Better actually than what is happening in the EPL. Tunaona shida sana na VR, but we didn't see the same in AFCON. What do you have to say there, Ian?
Okay, for the refereeing, the decisions were good. I think even from the European countries, we've been appreciated. Yeah, so I think they were more competent, and they just giving the right decisions and not favoring any team, you know. So I think kudos to the African referees.
Okay.
They did their best, and hope they'll maintain that.
Yeah, and even Jose Mourinho himself commented on that. And he said that VR headquarters should be in Africa. VR headquarters should be in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we are actually setting pace for the rest of the world in terms of decision making when it comes to football. Yeah. I'm hoping that's the same case in Kenyan matches, but we'll be getting that. We'll be getting there in a few. When we are talking about setting standards and setting pace, this AFCON has also been lauded all over the world as a very impressive tournament when you compare it to the others. Do you think we have gotten to the pace of Euros and maybe other key tournaments like World Cup? Tumemachua vizuri sana according to the performance.
Yeah, I think tumemachua. The development is there. I think it's kind of like the competition is there in every team. Like you can see from this previous AFCON, this one that ended last weekend. Not everybody expected those teams. I think the teams in quarters, they were not any team was in the previous competition. AFCON. Yeah, more all of them that were in the previous quarterfinals were knocked out. So meaning each and every team is growing day and day. So I think the competition is there, quality is there. If you watch, you'll enjoy. You know, yeah.
So it's not like Euros where tumezoea huko mbele tunangoja Portugal, tunangoja the Spain, yeah, the normal. Yeah. And if tukienda huko kwa kina huyu wa Messi,
Brazil,
Argentina, Brazil, it's the obvious every day. Yeah. Do you think this is setting pace for the footballing landscape in Africa and in the globe in general?
I think there is some improvement. Of course, a lot of improvement on African football. There is more of composure right now in African football.
Yeah.
And I really hope that Kenya will try and get to those levels. We've seen them playing, like you said. But again, we are waiting to watch when we'll be hosting that AFCON jointly with Tanzania and Uganda. Then we want to see whether at least we'll try, because we'll be having the home advantage. I think AFCON has improved. African football has improved generally. Teams like Equatorial Guinea, they had their top scorer there, a player who is a right back at a third-tier team, coming to AFCON, being a top scorer. Then that shows you there is some improvement. Look at players like Adingra, like he has mentioned. Look at other key individuals that are trying. Then I think we are setting pace.
Yeah.
And we just have to wait and see whether Kenya will try and get to those levels.
Okay. really get to those levels? Najua umemention Kenya playing, he let out a little laugh. Kenya, are there things you think we've picked from there that clearly other African nations that have participated in this tournament have shown that Milan, they've improved, as you've said, they have more composed teams, and now we've seen surprises clearly. Will Kenya be part of the teams next that we talk about and has improved?
Yeah, I think so, because Kenya, we got talent.
Yeah.
There is talent in Kenya.
There's talent. Okay.
Yeah, if you sit down and watch Kenya, some of the individuals in Kenya, you'll enjoy because you'll see that's an EPL quality. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think by the time we'll be playing next AFCON, so if we'll be hosting there, I think we'll be part of it. And if the body, the FKF, if the management is good, I think we'll have a better team and a good team that can perform and give us results, because we'll be having an home advantage. So there will be no reason for us or an excuse not to perform well.
Okay. You've said that there are individual players that you take a look at, maybe some games that you have a look at, and then it's like, this is EPL quality. What we're interested in knowing, which maybe that you can mention out players, individual teams, or anything that you've personally seen that shows that tuko na quality na tunaweza beba kitu ama tunaweza participate kwa kitu serious.
Okay, for the individuals, okay. So far, this is on the standing man for me, Sostino Odhiambo from Gor Mahia. It's a joy to watch. Personally, I played against him here in KU. He came here. It's a joy to watch. So, and if you get a chance to watch Gor Mahia play, you'll see that. Then recently, under 18 Stanley is in Sweden. He went for trials, and the coaches there, the scouts are impressed. So, meaning Kenya, we got something.
Right.
And not only that, there are some tunasemanga chini ya maji. Kuna some individuals wanaenda maju. Personally nawajua. Wanaenda maju kucheza ball. Na wanajua ball, and they're not coming back ito wameshindwa. They're going there and they're playing and earning their money. So I guess by the time tutafika AFCON 2027 tukihost,
watakuja kuchezea national team au majamaa ama wataka walambe asali huko wasahau?
Hapana, wanapenda nchi. They'll be here.
Okay.
And you'll watch them.
And we've seen the under 18 as well, vile walicheza, I think
Sekafa.
Yeah, Sekafa. Very good performance. Hopefully these are actually the players that we are hoping to front for the AFCON in 2027. So maybe that is the time for them to shine. Na wasirudi back to the same old. Swali ni watachukuliwa to Harambee Stars ama tutapigia Marige tumuulize kama bado anaweza chukua jazi. Benson.
Of course. Lazima, there are some players that you must pick out, you must choose. And if you look at international scouts scouting for Kenyan talent, then know there is talent in Kenya.
Okay.
I'm looking at the coach, Harambee Stars. Look at Harambee Stars under 18 and everything. This under grassroots football helps a lot.
Okay.
Because you identify talent, then you nurture that talent, take the national team, and then that's how you progress. Because I'm looking at teams that play in Europe, players huko wanaanza kucheza wakiwa 6 years, 10, 12, nurture talent. You cannot start playing football at 30 then expect to be a national team. That's where we go wrong as Kenya.
Yeah.
But if we try to nurture that grassroots football, those teams, then of course we have hope. And I really hope that we will be at least somewhere by the time in Africa 2027.
Okay. Hardnuts, mkona players ambao watatuingia pale national team. What is the feeling, inspiration within the team from this just concluded AFCON? You feel like now there's some things you can pick here and there to represent in Harambee Stars? As you're speaking grassroots, I'm sure KU Hardness is part of the grassroots ambayo tunafaa kunacha players, right?
Yeah. Okay, for the Hardness team, tuko na talent. And we know that because from the university competitions, we always emerge champions.
Okay.
Any competition we participate in Kenya, we have to be champions.
Yeah.
So I guess tumelearn kama team, individually mimi nimelearn, and I know some individuals pia wame pick some things from the AFCON, and hopefully what implement, then if you get a chance, I think next season mostly you'll see some of the Adnats faces in the Premier League, KPL. So I think that's a stepping stone. So wakifika hapo pia they'll just continue getting much better and better. Alafu maybe 2027, never know, kuna mmoja atakuwa hapo national team anacheza AFCON.
Unajua mimi na kuangalia hivi ukiongea na imagine angalia mtu atascore ile final goal ya Kenya Queen AFCON. So this is the moment. Kwa leo na cut clips, cut this one for that day wakati Ian atascore the screamer goal for AFCON 2027. Well, we are talking about kunacha grassroots. Kuna pia another level of grassroots football in Kenya, including wale mlitandika juzi wendani All Stars thoroughly. So we have that, we have 44 Bulldogs, we have many underground football leagues all across the country. Is this part of the things or part of the places that maybe scouts should look at? Tukiangalia national composition ya Harambee Stars, who definitely wanaangalia what is happening in EPL. Is it possible for them to go, or is it something that we should do, that you guys think we should do? Waende grassroots pia waangalie vijana wanacheza huko kwa turf, kuna wanacheza kwa Mwaram, kuna wanacheza kwa barabara, do you think that's also part of the talent tunafaa ku include? Benson.
I think of course if you are watching teams playing like the Rai All Stars, itango hii team aje kina ujua nguko.
Bulldogs,
44 Bulldogs. Quality iko. Of course kuna quality. And I think many Kenyan footballers hope, kuna venye hope wanakosanga, yani you unaona tu you cannot, unaona tu you will never, lakini if you are to nurture those talents, grow them, support them, build many stadium of course in the country, develop, then pay players well, of course motivate the players, of course you will see momentum. People will be there, scouts will be there watching those games, because if you are going to watch a game, let's say a 44 and something, uwanja na kuanga imejaa, kuna fans
sana,
meaning people know kuna quality. There is no way ndakuja kuwatch game yako nikijua kuna quality. People know there is quality, and I think starting from there, then maybe 1 or 2, 3 players, pick individuals, then let's see whether we can integrate them in the national team, maybe support them, and then see whether as a country we can progress. Because Kenya, wenye amesema kuna talent na umemention shida mingi lakini sana. Umemention motivation, umemention stadium, umemention payment, facilities. With all these problems, Ian, as a professional football player at the moment, is it possible for us to move up and rise above shida zetu, which I am sure are a core reason mbona hatuko in international tournaments? Plus, when we're talking about underground football, I know that some if not most of these players ambao wako in some of the underground leagues ni wale ambao maybe their dream was cut short. Alikuwa football star, maybe alikuwa anacheza hard nuts pia, alikuwa star, alisikuwa mabao, but no one ever scouted them, no one ever gave them the chance, no one gave them the facilities. Ni possible, do you see a point where we get advantage and rise above hizi shidu zote?
Yeah, it's possible, because wezi sema Kenya kuna pesa.
Wezi sema Kenya kuna pesa.
Kuna pesa, juwenda ukitembea hapo one magari watu wanaendesha, tells you there's money. So hii pesa tu ingekuwa ichenjewe to kudevelop sport, kwa rahisi. Juvila mesema, study ground unachezea, like now in the Kenyan League, even if you see the KPL alone, some of the grounds they used to play, it's not like
it's not a believable Premier League match.
Yeah, you can't believe that's a Premier League match. So that alone tells you more about our Kenyan football. So if they can start from there, building for us some of the good stadiums, getting that chance, then again, these young talents getting an opportunity is never easy. Yeah, tunasemanga unajua nani.
Hadi kwa football tunasema hivyo.
Yeah, that happens because kuna ukienda sahi hata vile anasema endapo Div 2 angalie quality, utaona mtu anaweza kucheza Premier League, then you go watch a Premier League match, you'll see, no, this person should not be playing here. It's not better than this person. But getting that opportunity, it's never easy in Kenya. Si rahisi.
Si merit based, ni lazima ujue mtu fulani mahali.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes lazima ujue mtu, but most of the time it's merit based, but lazima ujue mtu pia. So if you can avoid that and just involve more in the merit based section, it will be much better and easier to develop these talents.
Okay. What are some other before you give me that, some other challenges maybe personally you may face as a player that you can point out, then maybe as a message to the caretakers of football in the Republic wa check on, but you mentioned hapo kuhusu stadium, na imenikumbusha Thika Stadium, which I keep mentioning here on this show. It is, bro, it's bad. As in, you sit on nakalia chuma, you sit on nothing, in short. Kuna ni chuma tu zimejaa kwa stadium. If you are passing right outside that football stadium, kama uko unajua kuna match inaendelea, uturn tu kichwa uangalie when there's a game happening, you wouldn't guess it's a Premier League match. You will think, hii ni village gani wanacheza na hiyo ingine, ama ni wazee gani hao wamekuja leo pamoja Sunday kujibamba. You wouldn't think it's a Premier League yenye FIFA wanaangalia, Kenya Premier League match. So those are some of the issues. We have the most deplorable state of stadia, and the ones that are working have been closed down for renovation apparently, but crusades and here and campaigns here and there are happening huko ndani. Kama crusades zina happen huko ndani, na Manchester Stadium iko poa, ama zinahitaji maombi. Anyway, apart from stadia, and of course that issue of nani anajua nani, there's not so much merit. Some other maybe things as a football player, and we're hoping, because we are propping you to play in the next international matches that Kenya will be at, maybe this is now a call for you, ile facility wewe ungetaka, alafu ndio AFCON 2027 nikisema Ian hapo ulituangusha, usiseme huko kuna stadium ama jazi.
Okay, I think shida tunaweza sema ziko, like vile alisema hapo nyuma, tunasema motivation, alafu payment pia, you know. Unajua mchezaji kama tuseme umemaliza shule, unacheza ball, saa zingine unaweza chana na mambo ya papers kidogo, sema concentrate na ball. You know, it needs to pay your bills and do everything for you. And you need to live a life, and a good life.
Yeah.
Like kama mchezaji ukiangalia watu vile wanacheza abroad, you wanna live such kind of life, you know. So si eti unateseka kumpigia sijui nani wewe ni yake hii leo. Unaona, ifaa hivyo. Nafaa uende unafaa, bro, leo chukua hiyo kula hivi, unaona.
Ndio.
Yeah, so if the payment is good and it's on time, itasaidia sana wachezaji. Then from kiwa utotoni pia, in the village unajua kama hujalelewa huku Nairobi ama tuseme wapi, hata Nairobi kuna wengine they don't get a chance to be nurtured when they're young. Hakuna hiyo academy. Usai ukienda academy utapata ni wale watoto wadosi wako kwa academy.
Those who can afford it.
That who can afford it. Okay, some got talent, but most of them hawana talent kusema kweli. Talent ni wale vijana wengine unaona wanatembea mguu tupu hapo. Wanajua ball, hata ukipata wanacheza hiyo karatasi wamefunga hapo. Personally una enjoy, unashangaa nini. Then you go to the academies and you like, no, see, that one ile ndio inafaa kwa academy, not this.
Not this one, yeah.
So our kama academies si lazima kama inaweza kuwa like tuseme it's not paid, no, it's free, or like mtu akona talent, nurture him. He doesn't have to pay you to nurture him,
yeah,
because he's young. Saa zingine wazazi hawajiwezi. So that academy is for the young ones. I think it's the best thing they can do to them. Kwanza vile juko hakuna academies. Watu wanacheza tu ball. Watu
ni kuleta politicians ni kuleta tu what are these hizi tournaments zao zenye wameandika jina yake Richard Okenye tournament kila mwaka, right?
Na hiyo unajua itsaidi, na hiyo kila mwaka it's once in a year, unapigwa December. Sasa hizi from January to November mtu anafanya nini? Unajua mtu in Europe wale ni watu wako academy, like seme in out they playing. They've got their schedule, wanajua this time nafaa kuwa hapa, this time nafaa kuwa hapa, nafaa kutrain from this time to this time, you know. It's a daily thing. Hii mpira ni kitu unafanya daily. Alafu inakuwa hapo. Ukishaweka mpira hapa inakuwa rahisi. Lakini ukifanya hii leo, umefanya hii this week, you do it another next month. Like kuikumbuka okay, unaweza ikumbuka but it'll take time.
Yeah.
Sasa ukipata mtu amefanya daily,
huyo ni mtu ameperfect.
Sasa ni mtu wewe utakuwa ukifikiria yeye ashachukua bola anaenda fanya vitu zake, unaona?
Yeah.
So football plays a daily routine, like something you should master alafu unaiweka hapo.
Hapo ndo set pieces hutoka, si ndio?
Yeah, sasa ukipata mtu ameweka ball kwa brain, unapata mtu anacheza very simple football and you enjoy him.
Yeah.
Unlike somebody is not training daily or trains once or twice a week. It's very hard for such a person.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Another thing I've noticed also with Kenyan football ni even with the Premier League, Kenya Premier League players, utapata mtu anacheza game weekendi but weekday ako shughuli kwingine. Jamani, foreman Monday, weekend yeye ni striker. You see? So half the time he has to make a living elsewhere. I've never heard of a case where I don't know, Rooney anauza mayai part time alafu yote nyingine ako mechi. So I think it's important that we have that kind of support for consistency in training, even from the young age and also for the players that are mature. Yeah, for sure. Benson, anything that you'd like to add there before we get into the final round of this conversation?
I just think Kenya, like you have said, we need improvement, we need quality, we need everything, we need those academies. Because ukiangalia AFCON, Kenya, we've never progressed past group stages. Never, we've never.
Man, that's sad.
That's sad. And now coming into 2027, people expect us at least to be somewhere as a host nation. I'm looking at times when African countries have hosted AFCON. Then CAF, even FIFA requires you, even CAF requires you to have that quality. You must have good roads, you must have lights, you must have everything. And that is why Kenya, Nyayo and Kasarani, those are the stadiums that, those two, that Kenya at least walipeana hizo mbili kwanza. Look at other stadiums in Uganda, in Tanzania. Work on a quality. If you are watching Azam play there, you will think it's an EPL match. Then go to your stadium, Thika Stadium, and those other stadium. Then no improvement is needed.
Yeah, that's for sure. Right, so that's what we need to do as a country if we are hoping for a miracle in the next round of AFCON. That that Kenya is automatically qualifying to as a host. Of course, there's a 2025 AFCON, right? Before 2027. So tutaangalia hiyo tuone kumekuaje alafu before tukuje 2027. Closing ceremony ya AFCON. Let's talk about that. Even opening ceremony, which was majestic, and then the closing ceremony. When you play, I don't know if you had any interest in seeing that. We put on a show. Performances, music, traditional attire, African culture in display. I don't think I see that so much in Euros. I know they have star performances, but not so much about the culture. Is this something that is interesting for us even in African football? Na pia we have touted this as a tournament ambayo imeleta African unity. So outside of football, I think we've come together as a continent. Tumesupport, tumebanta each other. Tumetusi Ghana, tumetusi Nigeria, SA, yani tumetusiana, tumekuja pamoja pia. It's a very fun tournament. What do you think of the display of culture and that kind of unity?
Okay, it's nice to remember your culture and practice it and have it, So and vile ilikuwa kwa displayed, you learn other cultures, what other people do, what they love, what they don't love, So like it's also a way like in that if I go to Ghana or I go to Nigeria, I'll know what to do, what to wear, So it's kind of a nice thing, I guess, because it brings unity and closeness, and you just know your people.
Yeah, that's for sure. Benson, adding on to that culture, part of the things that were shown there at the final, at the semi-final was. And actually, even at the final, was Congo even fighting for the rights of people within their country who are exploited in one way or another. Huko Congo, kuna child labor going on in mining of the cobalt and other minerals ambazo zinatumika by big giant tech industries. Simu including ile ambayo nimeshikilia hapa, iko na some bits of cobalt huko ndani za kutengeneza battery ambayo imetoka Congo ambayo ni watoi wamechimba huko. So that was a very interesting spectacle for me to see. The players did a very interesting sign there to show, that they need to free Congo, and there's been silence generally all over the world of the issues that are happening to the children of Congo. So adding on to that, plus the unity, plus the culture, Benson, unaweza sema je, is this quite unlike any other tournament in the world? I think we stand out, no?
I think if you are looking at how even fans came out, look at Nigeria fans, how they came in the airtime. Look at Ivory Coast fans, very loyal, very traditional out there, very, ukiangalia culture, watu hata kama wamejichora nini, kuna culture, you can see they are patriotic, they are fighting for that. And if you are looking at this, and then if this proceeds, then it united Africa, of course. And at least somehow people were able even to see some of the things that are going on. Even when you check on Twitter after that AFCON, this stood out. And I think if you are to continue like this, then somehow we can solve this crisis. Like in labda pole pole, it will take time. It will take time because, they say when you give man power, he's a beast. And that's what happens in Congo. Give man power, he's a beast. If he's above you, then when you wanakuwa exploited, hopefully uko chini yake atakuwa naumia. But hopefully we are hoping to see football uniting more, and maybe even in future this crisis should end.
Yeah, for sure. Let's talk about celebrations. I think for that final game, exciting. Najua umezoea kuwin na kurudi nyumbani na kusherehekewa na watu nyumbani na mafans. That closing match, maybe any standing out moments, any moments that stood out for you, na that feeling of victory. We saw the Ivory Coast team wakireceiviwa kwa street, as he said, the fans adorning traditional attire. Even at the beginning of the tournament, players wote actually from all African countries walikuwa na show up na kitu ina represent nchi yao. I'm wondering Kenya tungekuwa huko tungekuwa tumevaa nini? Sasa ile ya Masai. Labda. Ama tuvae kama maodi. I don't know what culture we represent generally, maybe, but
you'll see it maybe in 2025 or 2027.
We'll see what we display there in terms of culture. I'm really curious to know what we have in terms of culture. But players were received in the streets, and I'm sure you've been received in the streets of KU before after a very amazing win. How was that like? How was the feeling for you? What took uvalishwa medals? That closing awarding ceremony with the trophy. It's $7 million, man. Yeah. What was your reaction to that? And as a player, especially seeing that kind of glory and awarding.
Okay, as a player, I think it's always one of the best moments of your life. After winning or just winning. For me, first I think I felt like I've had the feeling of Casey. Just giving that equalizer, that alone. I think I know that feeling. I did it once in China.
You did it once in?
In China.
Okay.
Our first match, I think I got the equalizer.
Against
University of Split from Croatia.
Okay.
So I think winning as a player, when you went to the tournament, that's what you're dreaming and you want all the time. You prayed for it, you did everything you can, So then giving back to the nation or your fans, it's always one of the best things, because they've been there for you. When you are down, they're there. When you're up, they're there. So giving them back something, it's always the best. And so I think all players love that, giving back as a player.
Right. You're getting individual glory, team glory, and you're giving back to the fans. Hapo umehit trifecta to all the best points, ndio. I have a question here from a viewer, and I think I'll ask it to Kelvin Benson. I really hope I didn't lose it. They're saying about the Ivory Coast winning. Do you think the eventual champions were the most deserving team, or did the factors like luck or controversial calls play a role in their victory?
I think I will not mention luck, but luck was there, of course. Luck was on their side. Looking at that team being counted out by everybody, then coming back, even firing a coach, and then having a new coach, and then winning the trophy, meaning the odds were on their side.
Yeah.
They were not against them. The odds were on their side. And again, the fans were on their side also. Many people were saying about controversial decisions. Don't know what, not much fixing. No, I don't think so.
Asema script iliandikwa vizuri.
There is no script there. There is no script there. You
Yeah.
cannot script that Ivory Coast win.
Yeah, for sure.
That you cannot script. If you were to script, maybe you would have scripted Nigeria to win. That I'll tell you for a fact. Looking at a team that has lost to Equatorial Guinea 4-0, then going with Mali and everything, then coming back again and winning the tournament. Then even I mentioned something, people were calling them zombies. They were called zombies of the tournament.
Yeah.
The zombies woke up. They were the Walking Dead.
The Walking
and
Dead.
They woke up and they won that tournament.
It was World War Z.
Yeah, and I don't. No one will say it was luck.
Luck already.
But luck was on their side, of course. All odds on their side.
Yeah.
As a host nation, I never expected them to lose, and they made me proud for being a host nation and winning that much.
Yeah, I think I'll add with what I started this show with, which is hard work is what puts you where good luck will find you. Yeah, so I think they worked really hard for it to get there. Let me get here a comment from Mugeni Nelly, alafu nisikie kitu ya mwisho. We are wrapping up the show. Anything that I've left, any point that you had prepared to come up here with, na sija point out on AFCON, prepare kuisema. But in the meantime, Mugeni Nelly anasema, I'm loving the show. And I hope the sports personnel in the Republic are hearing your views on choosing the under 18 come 2027 and not just the old faces. It's time for young ones to shine and be given a slot. Yeah, so that's Mugeni Nelly. Thank you for tuning into the show. Sports personnel ambao wamesikiza, our panelist wameshawaambia hapo. Jilo Mamu tuned in and enjoying the show kama kawaida. The AFCON analysis is dope and I'm happier that my team Ivory Coast won. Kila mtu sasa anataka kuside na kila mtu anataka kuside na Ivory Coast. Sasa sisi wenye tulianza na Morocco. Yeah, tune in. When should I come in for the Super Bowl analysis? Super Bowl ni nini? I had a tweet here from Rooney. I wish I had saved it. Where Rooney was tweeting back in 2012. Alikuwa anasema he was watching Super Bowl. Anashangaa, is this what they call football? This is just an event full of adverts and music. Sijui wewe uona Super Bowl? Yeah, Benson. Okay, Jilo, itaka utajiprepare for that conversation. Kuja na any other person who's interested in Super Bowl, the American football version of World Cup, I think, if that's the correct example to give there. Right. So, as we have said there, Ivory Coast are the winners of AFCON 2023, which was held in 2024, but it's AFCON 2023. They are the champions, taking it after Senegal, who won the previous AFCON. So they are crowned champions, will be defending champions in the coming AFCON. They automatically qualify for World Cup. They've been awarded individual medals and team effort, $7 million. $7 million in Kenyan money should be karibu bilioni, sindio? Yeah, with the current conversion rate, should be a B. Yeah, so wakigawagawa kila mtu mita kwa team. Ingekuwa hard nuts ungekuwa umefurahia mbaya. Hiyo ni kidogo. Aim ni higher than that. Of course, for sure. Let's get your last comments, guys. I'll save the hard nuts football player for last. Ndio pia uweze kusema anything else about hard nuts. Last time I was here with Vultures, the hockey side of Kenyatta University men's team, and they gave us information about, the kind of support they need, even from university administration, from the fans, people to show up in their games, merchandise, mali watu watanunua. Mimi naweza penda kubuy jersey ya Hard Nuts. It's actually a really good name. A conversation for another day. But yes, hizo details zote kama ziko, tafadhali itakuwa chance yako ya kuuza Hard Nuts na kuuza. But tuanze na Benson atupatie last remarks za AFCON na maybe juu umevalia Argentina, sijui kama unataka kuongelea Argentina. ama tulishafunga Messi already completed football. Yeah.
I think AFCON was it has been a good tournament to watch for even other European teams. And if you look at people like Jose Mourinho applauding AFCON and VAR, meaning amekuwa akiwatch hizi games.
Yeah.
Then we are trying as a continent, we are somewhere, we are progressing well, and I think Kenya also should learn from the rest of the teams, the rest of the other teams in the continent, and then see what we can do, improve the quality of football, support Kenyan football. Then we see at the end of the day where we will be. All in all, AFCON was a good tournament to watch.
Yeah, probably best of the lineup so far. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, personally, nili enjoy AFCON. So I guess everybody enjoyed if you are an African.
Yeah, if you enjoyed it, you enjoyed.
Yeah, so it's a learning process for Kenya. And I know we learned, and I know we'll implement more or something, one or two from the other teams in Africa. So after learning, it will be a nice process seeing us in 2027, right?
Yeah.
Then for the Adnats team, I think personally I'm happy from last year when we were from China, or before we went to China. Like, it's been a norm. People didn't used to love football in KU. There were no fans. We used to have like 100 fans only, or my friends only, you know.
Yeah.
But now from last year, things changed, and I think people love it now. There have been fans all over when we're playing games here. And we're playing every weekend, I guess. And this weekend will be in KU still. So we'll be having a match. So everyone is around.
Who are you playing against?
We'll be playing, KU Adnats will be playing against, it's Great Star.
Great Star University.
Great Star University.
Okay.
And in KU we have two teams. So the other team is KU Ruiru.
Ruiru.
Yeah.
Okay.
They'll be having two matches, one against SPU and the other one against KCA. So we ask for your support, guys. Everyone come out and watch.
Yeah.
We'll enjoy. We never disappoint, as always.
For sure.
So yeah, it's a joy to watch. So you come have fun. If you're bored in your room or anywhere, you can come and avail yourself and enjoy your weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Merchandise support.
Okay, no, I don't think we have that.
Yeah.
You have nuts now.
Okay.
I don't sell that.
Okay.
Maybe we'll think of that and start, and we'll come up with that
business.
Yeah.
Okay. But support mafans watoke.
Yeah, mafans watoke wajione ball. Enjoy ball. Kuna talent KU, so kuja enjoy ball.
Yeah.
Waone vile tunapiga hizi matimu zingine ndogo ndogo.
Team zingine kama wendani All Stars.
We do much more than what we did that.
Yeah.
If you watch that match, so when we play in Kusa League, we're more serious than that. So you can imagine.
When you're serious, how it's like.
When you're serious, how it's like, and what we can do.
Yeah. Mnanyesha tu mabao mbaya sana. Thank you so much, Ian, for creating time for us this morning here on the show. Please support KU Adnats. As you've heard there, they have a game this weekend. Show up. Onekana pale. Sema kitu. Greet the players. They will be ile time atakuwa win AFCON ama World Cup. Send hapo kujifanya unamjua. Me I have a video to show him when it's that time for handshakes. Sindio. Thank you very much also, Kevin Benson, for creating time for us. Very detailed analysis of AFCON we've had before and also today. A call out to all of us to support African football. The business of African football is our business. It has united us clearly, and don't forget the crimes against humanity that are happening in different countries which still participated in this tournament. We're speaking Congo, we're speaking even countries that didn't participate like Sudan. We are speaking of the conflict that is happening in these regions, that the leadership of the continent can be able to take a look at that. If they can organize a tournament that is peaceful, that is enjoyable, they can also organize peace. It's not that hard to do, right? So think about it, and that has been AFCON analysis for 2023. What were your highlights? What were your players to watch? What were your teams to watch? Breakout teams, future rising stars to watch out for? Leave us a comment on the social platforms at KUTV Kenya, at Richard_Okenya. And before I forget, we were speaking about grassroots football. Support grassroots football. Call out for your leaders. Watch hizo tournament. Sijui Richard Okenya tournament for Kisii County. Anne Waiguru tournament for Kirinyaga. Please, let's support grassroots football. And please do show up in these matches. There are people who are actively supporting individuals who even stream these matches from their own media or their own social media accounts. We are talking people like Ojwang Mariam, who streams grassroots football through Way TV in 44 Bulldogs, Wendani All-Stars, and all the others that we've mentioned here. So check out Way TV for that. Hard Nuts, before they went to China, they were in the Off-Pitch podcast by one Boni, who's also playing for Kenyatta University Vultures. So Boniface Odhiambo, you can check out Off-Pitch Africa podcast by Boniface Odhiambo. That's where he gets to highlight some of these grassroots events in sports, off and on the pitch. So that's why we are here to say that you should be a part of these individuals and organizations that are supporting the business of football and the business of sport in Kenya and in the continent. So thank you for tuning in for this analysis. Meet you at another time for the business of sport. It's been a very lovely journey, taking a look at what the developments have been like in Ivory Coast to the conclusion that happened on 11th of February. It's been a long discussion, so I'm going to take a break, and then I am coming back with the newspaper review for today. Grab yourself a copy of the dailies, the Business Daily, the Standard, and the Daily Nation. I'm joined here by Grace Maina, Vice President of Machakos University. Amekuja na man like Nick Mwadime Mwangi, National Executive Director of MKUSA, and a host of other titles that I always say when I introduce him. But today he's accompanied here by the Vice President of Machakos University, Grace Maina. They're giving us an insight, they're reacting, they're predicting. So do the same, and I'll be right back.